All right, so we're live here at the Doom: The Dark Ages hands-on event, and we have here co-host of the show, Rihanna Manupena, and also guest of the show from Spawn on Me, we have Khalif Adams. What's up?
Sadate on the tippy tie. What's up?
For the Boogie Down Bronx,
Boogie Down Bronx all day, every day. Yeah.
all day, and Paris' favorite cooker.
He murders chopped cheeses.
Oh wow! Anything you want to say to Paris though before we continue with the show?
Nothing that you can say in front of children.
Okay, well there you go. All right, so we got to play the game. We played actually 4 different levels, and the only one that we were allowed to capture was stage 4. But I just want to get to your thoughts playing Doom: Dark Ages compared to the previous one. Have you played the older ones?
Yeah, I played through the other 2.
Yeah.
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 I mean, this game, everything that the team has talked about, Hugo and the rest of those folks, about the speed and the verticality of it and kind of being on a horizontal plane more as opposed to kind of up and down, which was what you did in some of the previous games, just feels really, really good. Like, speed is there. It feels like enemy density is there in a way that feels good and challenging. And, for a game that is trying to reinvent itself again, it feels like they're really nailing a lot of the things they are trying to pull off with this game.
And it's still fast. There's so many different weapons. And one of my favorite weapons is this baby right here, the shield. Oh my God, you can do so many things. We'll talk about that in a few. But Rihanna,
Yeah.
is this your first time playing Doom? Have you played the previous games or what?
I've had hands on previous Dooms, but I never sat down and played through the whole thing. As most people who've heard my coverage know, I barely ever finish games. So
It's all good.
even something as short as previous Dooms, they had my attention for a while, but I found them to be a little bit repetitive, and not in a bad way, just in a way if the skill ceiling is the only thing that's really keeping me coming back, then I tend to bounce off of things just because I'm a very limited time gamer, right? I don't have a ton of time to spend on games, so I have to move on to something else that's a little bit more juicy, I guess you could say, although there's a lot of juice in this game. Very gory. But
Very gory.
something that I found really intriguing and something that I'm still thinking about even as we're sitting here after playing is the story. Surprisingly, the narrative is very intriguing. There's infighting among different factions. There's, this meta storyline where Doom Guy is being brainwashed and trying to fight this programming, and you're rooting for him to break out of it. But while he's under the programming, he's causing a lot of destruction to the good guys, which, collateral damage is a thing, sure, but it's just interesting. This pure seething hatred for the demons has changed the way you look at the character that you're used to playing in all these different iterations of Doom. So yeah, it got its hooks in me. Surprisingly, that's the thing that I'm the most excited to see more of.
I was a little curious, how this game is going to be compared to the previous ones, especially with the weapons and the music and just the vibe in general. It's up there. But for you, Khalif, how can for those that haven't had a chance to play the game, right?
Yeah.
Compare first, second, and third game. What do you compare this to?
I mean, I feel
Out of the
like this game is pulling in things from each one of those other titles and leveling those things up in a really smart way. It feels like, again, it was about, if you think about each of the other previous games, it was more about modes, weapons, and game design in terms of up and down. You're flying in the previous games. This is very much more grounded combat and feels more arena style in the ways you think of classic Doom. But it refines a lot of those things through the weapons, like the shield bash and the shield that you have, the just breadth and depth of the weapons that you wind up getting throughout, even in this small play session that we had today, various stuff that I'm not gonna spoil, but you'll see in the gameplay stuff that we all captured. But all of those pieces just feel like you're showing off this character. You made him empathetic, which was wild, that I didn't expect at all. But also, it just feels like every moment felt special and also felt very distinct in the way that you're tackling fights. And that was something in the previous game, but it didn't feel as good and meaty in this one.
And I really enjoy the puzzles that it's in the game too, where you could use the shield and other abilities to use in the game that it wasn't previous in there. There was one part that was stuck. I think it was maybe stage 2 where you throw the shield. Is it a shield? I'm trying to think if it was like LB or you throw the shield. You can either lift yourself up, will take you to like a certain area, or another one where you could use the shield to break like a different type of shields in there too, in order to open like certain doors. Like I really like that instead of just because the thing is about the first one, in my opinion, first one I felt was just shooting, melee, shoot, run, and that's it. Second one was that, but it was a lot of jumping, a lot of, right? This one, like you're right. This one has a combination of both games, plus more, which I think people are gonna enjoy that, you know. So
Yeah, I think it's also really interesting to see so much.
no, not too close. There you go.
I think it's also really interesting to see so much exploration rewarded. Like there are secret areas and things that you can unlock by getting a key or breaking a shield with your spiky shield, and that is something I wasn't expecting. I don't know why, but I was just figured I'm just gonna shoot a bunch of demons, which is fine. But it was even deeper than I expected, and I really like the way that when you're leaving an area, like and you're at a point of no return, there's a notification that says there are secrets here you haven't found yet. Thank you, like for putting that in. Because again, as somebody who values their time when they're playing a game, I don't need you to tell me where they all are. I don't need like a path on the ground to show me how to get through everything. But just let me know there's something else to go back and see. And that was really considerate, I would say, of the devs. And something else that I think is really interesting that I also wasn't expecting was how rewarding the skill tree is. And how you collect currency and then you find upgrade points where you can, I think it's a shrine,
Yeah, it's a
where,
shrine.
where you can choose to either upgrade your gauntlet, your guns, or your shield, depending on your play style. And I found myself really shocked at what I liked doing in my combos. Like I wasn't expecting for that slicey shield to be my number one weapon.
You know what? I was doing the same exact thing. See, that's why we got married. No, but for real, like.
Yeah, I
'cause
figured
was
it would
like,
be a gun, right?
Yeah, because I was looking at it like, should I go with melee, shield, or what? And I was always going with the shield, in my opinion. Yeah, and it felt good after a while too, because I felt like I was getting attacked a lot, and I was blocked. At first, I wasn't sure if I should just block the whole time. So they gave me some tips, like, look, bro, just use a shield most of the time.
Parry.
In theory, yeah. I mean, there's
No,
gonna
parry.
Oh, parry. Sorry, yeah, and dodge. I did a lot of dodging too.
The skill tree stuff was really, really smart because I like the toggle that you can do. So you can do that throughout the game. Like it's not a thing that you have to just buy into that one thing and then you stick with it. That you can swap those things out. I thought the difficulty sliders were really interesting too. I messed around a lot with that as a person who really likes to kind of like get my butt kicked in games like this. I was trying to figure out what that balance was, where you could make the enemies more, attack you a little bit more, or you can make the projectiles a little bit slower, so that you have to deal with those as opposed to kind of just like having the timing down. I think that's one of these games where everyone kind of gets the timing down once you have that understanding of like, oh, if I can block here or parry here, I know what to expect. But you can actually change that up too to make it harder for yourself, which I thought was really, really fun too. So I was like, oh. They weren't joking around when they said you can change this and make this exactly how you want in the ways you're thinking about the combat too and the difficulty. So that was really, really fun too.
Now, I played it normal difficulty. Did
Yeah.
you guys went to like easy or more difficult for you
I
guys?
started off on the base difficulty and then changed the sliders up to make hits to me a little bit stronger and to make the enemies a little bit harder to kill.
How was that?
It felt good. I think you'll tweak it a lot depending upon when you understand what affects what. Because one of the questions I asked was, if I change the difficulty in terms of making the enemies more difficult, does that add more enemies or does that just make them harder to kill? And it makes them more difficult to kill as opposed to adding more enemies in the space. And I think that was smart. Like that was an interesting part of it too.
Now, out of all the enemies, which one was the one I was like, oh man, this is tough. I have to figure this thing out. I'll tell you mine in a few, but go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't know if any of them were more tough than the others. I will say I was on baby ass baby mode, obviously. And sorry. And I just want to eat the microphone. No, I was on baby ass baby mode. clearly. And I did find some difficult. I didn't die at all, which good, I only had a limited time to play. But I will say the enemies that maybe confounded me the most were when you first met the dudes with the big, huge shields, like the head to toe shields, because it was before I knew that you could superheat them and then smash them with the shield, the spiky shield. So I was trying to shoot him and nothing was happening. I was like, okay, great.
Was that the one that had like 2 different health?
No, you're thinking of the bull rider dudes.
Yeah, those were annoying.
Those were funny to me because
with the one with the shields all around. Oh, you didn't
I
got
didn't
to
see
that.
that.
Oh,
so
go
they
ahead.
were a very basic bull rider, I guess I'll say. And what I liked about those is almost like it was like 2 stage enemies within the normal mobs that you're fighting. Where if you do a certain combo that I had spec'd, where I shoot them or hit them enough, and then a purple ring shows up, and you do a special attack that disables the gunner. And he pops off and shoots out a bunch of ammo for you. And then I would focus on the animal that they were riding. I liked those the most because they were fun because I was trying to time it, and sometimes depending on again what part of the game I was in and how far my skill tree was spec'd out, when I shot them it would ricochet and like hit other enemies, which was really cool combo that I liked a lot. Again, the shield combos are really fun. But yeah, I think the knights or whatever with the shield were maybe the most difficult because I just didn't understand them yet. But with every enemy in this game, once you get how to take them down, it's just a matter of prioritizing like who you see on your screen and how you need to approach them and like what order. And to your point, Ka, I really like the way that the difficulty doesn't just add more enemies to your screen, because the number of things that you're looking at any one time is a lot.
Yeah.
And I can see that being like almost too overwhelming to the point where it kind of loses that let me plan and execute my attack a little bit more thoughtfully if it was just a mob of people. So I think they did a really good job with balancing all of that, even at the higher levels and the easier levels.
For me, when I started playing this game, I started thinking like Halo or other games. Like, okay, reload. There is no reload.
Yeah, I was hitting that button
But I
to
have to get used.
I was hitting the button to reload all the time.
Yeah.
And like doing things like in the world, it's on a different button. And I was like, X.
Yeah, and I'm like,
no, that's not it.
This
It
is
just kept
Doom. This
swapping
is
weapons.
Doom.
And I was
Yeah.
like, no, it's not what I wanted to do.
yeah. Now, one of
Bless you.
bless you. The enemy that took me a while to figure out because I just didn't know because I
Yeah.
was shooting. So there's one, is the same enemy that you're talking about, but this time it has shields all around. So you can shoot and nothing's gonna happen, but you have to kill his minions. So the more you kill it, there's like 2 bars on top. One is his health, which is red, and this purple. Purple is the amount of enemies that's around the area. Once you kill those enemies, then the shield disappears, then you can start attacking him. I was there forever, and everybody was looking at me, just wondering like this, because I'm shooting and I see the purple going down. I'm like, all right, I'm almost there, but I realized it happens every time I kill like a minion.
And they reinforce the enemies too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just getting long. I'm like, okay, this is taking forever, man. Yeah.
Are we able to talk about the other levels that we saw?
I thought we can.
Okay, I just triple checking because I was like,
I don't want to like spoil or anything.
No,
like,
no,
spoilers,
but I think-
like just enemy stuff,
I mean, we got a chance to see like multiple levels though that were
Yeah.
very different in the way that they played. I was curious if you hear.
Well,
your thoughts.
here what stood out to me is that big gigantic Atlas,
Yeah.
and the other one was like like a dragon or something was flying.
Yeah.
So let me ask you about
the
that.
Ardean-
Let me
the
ask you about that. I prefer being on ground.
Atlan.
I prefer being on land, like just on the ground and
Yeah.
shoot. Those to me was okay. Like it wasn't like groundbreaking or anything for me. Like,
Sure.
it was just cool as an add-on to be part of this game, in my opinion.